Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today in this video I have another Epson tutorial for you. I am using the Epson SureColor F100 printer, and if you haven't already seen me talk about this in my previous two videos, the Epson SureColor F100 is an A4 sublimation printer. In this video I'm going to be talking about sublimating onto mugs and how I do that process with my own designs. The Epson SureColor F100 is amazing to be able to elevate your crafting and also your business potential by creating gifting, merch and other promotional things. So it's really amazing. If you haven't set up your printer yet and you're kind of looking for a video on how to do that, check out my other video where I set it up and talk about the printer. And then also I have another video where I demonstrated sublimating onto fabric. So I made branded t-shirts, and I also talked about colour matching and troubleshooting any issues when printing on a Mac. But if you're having any of those issues that I just talked about, or you're setting up your printer, then go and check out those videos first, and then you can meet me back here for sublimating onto mugs. So thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. Hi, so you can see the printer here behind me, and I absolutely love this printer. For the on-demand printing with this incredible technology, I'm able to elevate my business from home, which has meant that I can control everything that I do when it comes to development and all of that kind of stuff. So this video I'm going to be talking about sublimation mugs, and I love making mugs. It's one of those things in my kind of crafting toolkit. Apologies if the lighting's changed, by the way. It's a really beautiful day, but it just means that you might get a bit of a sunlight and then not sunlight. Sublimation mugs are one of my favourite things to make, and you might have seen me talk about this on my channel before, and I really want to make a batch of mugs so I can sell them at my next craft fair. So I have a stall at a craft fair at the end of April, and I'm going to be selling for my brand Podgkins as well as my Paige Joanna like merch and stuff like that. So the mugs that I want to make are going to be some cute little on-brand mugs for Podgkins with my little flower icon. You might have seen me talk about this in my previous two Epson videos, but if you haven't, this is a picture of the little icon. It's so cute, and I think it will be quite a popular product for me to make. So I have a couple of mug blanks here. So I have a 12-ounce mug. I will leave a link in the description box below where you can go and get some mug blanks like this, and I'll also talk through the sublimation process so that you can go into this making them yourself and know what to do. And then I also have this Cricut one. This is a beveled ceramic mug blank, 15 ounce. I think the Cricut ones are good if you're making a present for someone because of the price point, but if you are trying to make mugs to sell and obviously you want to keep the cost price as low as possible, then I highly recommend buying them in batch, and I'll leave a couple of links below. There's a couple of websites that I order from as well as Amazon where you can actually buy the sublimation blanks in bulk. I just thought as well I would touch on a little subject that I was unfamiliar with when I first got my sublimation printer, and that is to make sure every week, every other week, that you run a kind of cleaning print. And what that is, if you go on maintenance, you can select print head cleaning. So if you're not creating sublimation products regularly, you might forget to run your printer and it might dry up the print head. So because of the way the inks work, I just wanted to give you that little heads up because I was unfamiliar of that. Of course, when you are making, you want to make sure to measure your base product or your blank so that we know what size to print off the design. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab a ruler, measure my mug in terms of the width and the height, and just to make sure that the design that I'm printing is going to fit on there. We don't want to waste any of our precious ink, and I just want to make sure that I get a good size for the mug. So I just generally like to print a couple of sizes anyway, and then I can kind of play around with how that's going to look on the mug once it's printed. So let's head over to the design with the size in mind, and then we can set that all up. So I started off by resizing my design so that I could have a couple of options, and I measured the mug and then resized the design to fit on an A4 piece of paper, and then I duplicated my design so that I had two of them for the mug, so one on each side of the mug, and then I repeated the process with my other design and had two size options.
Once the design was ready, I pressed print, and then on the print settings you will see under printer that I've selected my F100 printer and that the drivers are installed. So you'll be able to see under printer profile. The two profiles for this printer are rigid and textile. I'm selecting rigid here because I'm working on a mug. So depending on the base product that you are working with, then you will decide what profile you need to select. So then I press scale to fit media, and then I just checked my print settings to make sure that everything was how I wanted it. You can see I've actually made a preset called Good Colours. This was just the one that I used for this. You can see all of the drop downs here in print settings. Also make sure that it matches up with the profile. So of course that was rigid.
So before I print, I'm just going to show you my paper. So you want to have the paper print side facing down, and in this instance the Epson Sublimation printer paper is the whiter side, that is the print side. So we need to face that down, close it up and just open our print drawer, and now I can press print on my computer. As you can see, when it prints out, it comes out a kind of like muted shades, and that's how it should look, because when you're working with sublimation paper, it will always look muted until you add that heat process to your blank. Okay, so we've got our print here, and although the colours are muted, which I've already mentioned, you can see that the actual quality of the print is really, really good. So if you are doing something with more complex colours and, you know, something a bit more vivid, maybe it's a photograph or something like that, you want to have a little test of what that's going to look like for you. But I can safely say that the quality is incredible with this printer, especially after having used it several times now. So I've got my mug blanks, I've got some scissors, I've got some heat resistant tape. This is the Cricut branded one, but you can use any kind of heat resistant tape. And then I have my mug press. I also have a heat proof mat. If you are new to sublimation, then the way that it works is it is imprinting the ink from your design onto a surface, whether that is a rigid surface like a mug, or, you know, a mouse mat or a coaster, or a t-shirt, etc., textile, and it does that process through heat. So the Cricut does it all for me, so I don't have any guesswork when it comes to, you know, timings and things like that. But I will show you how to set up the mug design. Okay, first things first, let's do our smaller mug. I'm just going to check as well. I think this design for the bigger mug is great, and because of that I'm going to use the other design for the smaller mug, just so I have both designs to show you kind of the differences. So I've got my heatproof tape. I'm going to cut some strips of this. Take our design, and you can also see that it is mirrored, and that's automatically done on the printer. In our print settings you can turn off mirroring, but it's best to keep it on, because what happens is when the design is printed onto the mug, the writing will be the right way. So I'm kind of eyeballing where I want it to go and then taping on the design. Don't worry too much if the tape overlaps onto some of your design, because it's heat proof, it won't affect the results of the print. So I've carefully placed my mug into the mug press, and then I've shut the top down, and now the process has started. And with the Cricut mug press, it kind of shows you the process at the top in these little lights, and then it will beep to tell you that it's done. Whilst that one's heating up, I'm going to prep my other mug in the exact same way, so just trimming around my design. Now that it's beeped, we just lift it up, and we need to carefully remove it without burning ourselves, and just pop it on the mat, and we need to leave that to cool completely before we strip off the design. So now I can pop this one in, so carefully just holding the handle, putting it into the machine, and then pressing down the top. Okay, so it's not 100% cool, but let's just take it off because I'm too excited. Oh my god, that looks so cool. Wow, look how cool that is. The colours have turned out so good. Oh my goodness, I love it. Right, let's take the other one out of the machine when it's ready. It's nearly done, and then we can have a look at the finished results. Okay, let's take it off. Ta-da! Here are the finished mugs. They're so cute. They've turned out really, really nice. I love, love, love the colour payoff from this printer. Honestly, I'm so pleased with those. And it was so fast to make these. From printing it to the actual sublimation process was honestly like, you could make them in like 10 minutes. It's so quick. And I love how they turned out. I think they're going to sell, well hopefully they're going to sell really well at my next craft fair, and I just love them. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video, and if there are any other sublimation videos that you would like to see me do, then let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to get your hands on your own Epson SureColor F100 printer, then I will pop a link in the description box where you can go and find out more about the printer on the Epson website and check out where your local supplier is. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye!